One-game suspension from the team. He is out for tomorrow night's play-in game against the Lakers after punching teammate Kyle Anderson in the chest on Sunday. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
You had to suspend him because you got to set some type of boundaries for your young stars to let them know that this is not acceptable. And so you can't put your hands on somebody and not think that there's not going to be consequences.
Kendrick Perkins on This Just In. Minnesota also loses Jaden McDaniels with a broken right hand. He punched a wall during Sunday's game. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports at least 6 teams have talked with the Arizona Cardinals about trading for the 3rd pick in the draft. The Cardinals are still considering their options. The draft starts on April 27th. After withdrawing from the Masters just before the start on Thursday, Will Zalatoris will miss the rest of the golf season after back surgery. He's ranked 8th in the world and finished in the top 10 in 3 of last year's 4 majors.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM. .com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join us in the chat. That's your gateway into the chat. Immediate access to Jeremy and I during the program here. All your questions answered, all of the best comments commented and passed along to all of the listeners. And we've got new little screens.
New little toys.
It looks so official.
I'm going to make a lot of jokes today. Just a whole mess. Because between 3 live guys finishing in the top 5, the NBA going full-on fight night, it's been an amusing weekend for me.
It was a great weekend. Awesome weekend.
Well, it was a great weekend. Unless you're a fan of one team that I think got very intoxicated and put a comma in the wrong place.
Oh, Odell Beckham Jr. It
Yeah,
could only
that's
be
correct.
Odell Beckham Jr. getting, $15 million, $18 million with incentives, 1-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens, who don't even have a quarterback right now.
I would love to have heard how that negotiation went. Odell, buddy, you're our guy. You're going to be our number 1 quarterback, and our number 1 wide receiver, and we just love you. But who's going to be throwing me passes? We're going to write a number down. And I bet when you see this, you're not going to care who's throwing passes to you.
Right.
Frankly, Justin Tucker could be throwing passes to him, and I don't think he should be asking any form of questions. That's fine.
Anybody else see that and go, is Eric DeCosta drunk?
I saw it and audibly laughed out loud. I laughed. So obviously yesterday being, Easter and all that, we have Discord, all the different things. I immediately thought of our resident Baltimore Raven fan, Stephen Tao. And I wanted to gauge his opinion.
He's lobbying for conversation probation. He says he wants Ravens conversation probation.
Yeah. After that, I totally understand why. But am I the only one that's watched Odell Beckham in like the last 5 years? Because this deal makes absolutely no sense.
No, it makes no sense.
If you had told me it was for $5 million, I would still have just a slew of questions. When I found out it was 15 guaranteed, what were you bidding against? What, was he going to buy a soccer team? I mean, this is not a number one receiver in the NFL. We all get that, right?
Yes.
I mean, when was the last
time?
So he had 5,000-yard seasons in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't had one in 4 years. He didn't play a snap last year. And he got $4 million more per year than any other receiver in free agency he's gotten all year.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes 0 sense to me. He's also never really been good as a one since early on with the New York Giants. And there is nobody to take any of the weight off him with Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Rashad Bateman for the 15 minutes he's healthy every year.
I mean, you would say, the Odell Beckham Jr. apologists or defenders would say, yeah, but that was with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, but he was hurt so much in Cleveland as well. No, he didn't have a great quarterback, but if he has Tyler Huntley, is that any different?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who it is. We talked about this last week. Name me the best 30-plus-year-old receiver in the NFL. It's DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Exponentially better than what you're going to get out of Odell Beckham Jr. right now. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
The Arizona Cardinals can't give him away. And they're trying their best no-takers. And so you run out to give this deal to a wide receiver that has just over 1,000 yards in the presidential term. But why? That's the part I can't wrap my head around. I've heard all of the, well, does this make it more likely or less likely? I don't think it has anything to do with it, if I'm being really honest with you. This wasn't a move to entice Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's a move to prop up Tyler Huntley.
No, I think they believe it is.
I don't see how you could logically believe that.
I don't either. But it's like you keep saying with me and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's not what you believe, it's what they believe. And obviously, because it's the Baltimore Ravens, because it's Eric DaCosta, it makes it so hard to believe that this happened. You would expect this out of a Houston Texans. You would expect this out of any other franchise.
I think that's why it caught me so off guard.
Right.
Because I haven't seen the Baltimore Ravens do something like this in 20 years.
Right.
I saw the deal and I went, okay, I understand where he has a merit. I had somebody call me yesterday when this news broke of, does this change the Baltimore Ravens draft strategy? Do you think they could still take a receiver in round one? And my immediate answer was, absolutely. It changes nothing to me. This was before the numbers came out. Then I see that number, and I'm just dumbfounded at, what am I missing here? Because I can't wrap my brain around it. We've seen this. Well, but it was with Baker Mayfield. Okay, there's a better than 50% chance it's going to be with Tyler Huntley. Which one of these two quarterbacks is better? Because I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. I don't know that it's all that close. One of them is he's a quarterback. He's a starting quarterback, kind of, in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Huntley's, 50? Now, here's where the conspiracy theorist in me, my ears perk up. There is a path that this makes sense. I still hate it, but I hate it for a completely different reason. If they're one of the teams that's calling Arizona to move up to 3, as we have said, their out clause here could be Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
That could change it a little bit for me.
But why?
Because I've got to have something. I've got to have something.
I got to have something, so I'm going to bring in a diva wide receiver for my rookie quarterback. That's a horrible idea. That's even worse. That makes it even worse to me.
And trust me, I understand how you could get there.
That attitude around a rookie.
And trust me, I understand how you could get there. I'm also looking at this lineup going, do you realize who he was going to be throwing to before this happened? It's a whole lot of Nelson Aguilar.
And
that was going to be the two.
James Proche and
Tylan Wallace.
Devin Duvernay.
And Andy Isabella. I at least get it. If you got a guy that can somewhat run a route and get open, I understand it more with Lamar than I understand with anybody. The problem is that the money almost made it impossible for you to make it work with Lamar. I get that there are void years. I'm well aware of that. Baltimore doesn't do things like this. There's a reason that they're never the team that's $50 million over the cap because they don't kick things down the road. That's the reason they won't agree to a deal with Lamar because they know how it can end. And so you go get a diva receiver for 3 times his market value. And look, I always say, you can attest to this. I'm really connected with a specific team that he was supposed to meet with.
Yep.
And it was, well, they've discussed numbers. They didn't discuss any number that was anything near this. I promise you that.
Promise you that. And if it had been your team?
Oh, this would have been my last day on air. Because you can do anything once, and I probably would have.
Right. That's how livid I would be if it were my team. And so I understand Baltimore Ravens fans like Stephen Tao saying, can we just have conversation pro back? Like, I can't even speak on this topic right now. I'm baffled that it was Baltimore that not that picked up OBJ, but gave him way too much money.
Well, and that's the thing, is that at $15 million, which is the guaranteed portion, there's $3 more million in incentives. He's your no doubt one.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you do, he's your one. If you had brought him in at what I thought he was worth, which was $4 to $5 million for 1 year, $2 million of that in incentives, okay, now he can theoretically be the 2. I can go get a rookie. I can go make a play on DeAndre Hopkins, whatever the case may be. You're not doing that now.
Yeah.
You are not doing that now. You are committing yourself to one of the great head cases in all of sports history.
To match him with your great head case of a quarterback.
And I don't see the positive. If it's with a rookie, then okay, at least you got him somebody that can get open.
To me, the only thing that makes sense is that they have had some discussion with Lamar. And Lamar has said, that's the guy I want. You go out and get him, and then maybe I'll come back to the table, or I don't know, maybe I'm willing.
You think it's going to – and I've heard this theory too. So you're going to bring me Odell Beckham Jr., and now that's going to make me more realistic about my contract demands? I struggle to buy that.
I don't know. That's how bizarre this is. Like, I have to jump through so many hoops that don't make sense to try to make it make sense. Because OBJ is just not that guy. And
hasn't been in a long time.
I've been a defender. I've been somebody who's, I'm out like on the attitude and such, but the talent has always been there. The last 7-8 games of the Super Bowl year with the Los Angeles Rams? He was good.
He had 21 catches in the playoffs.
He was an integral piece.
He was an integral piece in the playoffs.
To the run. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a great misnomer that he was the reason they got there. He had 27 catches in 8 games.
And I thought he had for sure sewn himself up a nice little $9 to $10 million contract the following year, and then the injury happens, and his value tanks. I don't understand this. Like, I would have thought right after the Super Bowl, a $9 to $10 million contract, that would have been a bit of an overpay for me. And you're going to tell me he's had a year off.
Coming off a knee where he couldn't even travel.
Right.
And he's 30 years old.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, he couldn't travel with that knee 9 months after the surgical procedure. Mm-hmm. How many red flags do you need here to go, no, we shouldn't do that? Adam Black in our YouTube comment said, but money doesn't matter these days, correct? Well, it doesn't, except when it does. Because when I saw this, my second thought after I changed my pants because I had piddled upon them was, what is Lamar Jackson thinking right now? You won't give me $40 million, but you'll give a broken down shell of Odell Beckham Jr. $15. I think everybody's looking at this the wrong way. There's no way he's looking at this going, oh, well, they really value me. They went and got a receiver now.
Well, I mean, we already offered you $40 million, and you said no. Remember Remember the 133 over 3 years? That's $44 million. Like, dude, you should have taken the deal. And maybe it's back on the table. Maybe that was it. I don't know. More to come because OBJ signs Lamar, and I got to go down that path. Lamar said, this is the guy I want. And then maybe we could talk about that 3-year, $133 million again, just to get it done, just to move on. This is not serving anybody. But there again, it would take the level head, and I don't know that the level head exists on either side anymore. Like, I really don't know, because this makes me question Eric DaCosta's decision-making. Like,
this makes me...
How much has he aired with Lamar? And now this.
Well, I have a slightly different theory. We got to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
We come back. I think this screams something that nobody's wanting to acknowledge, and I'll tell you why I think that after the break.
Again, Odell Beckham Jr. will be a Baltimore Raven this year. 1 year, $15 million guaranteed, possibly 18 with incentives. We'll have more on it up next.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
June 14th, Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. On sale now. Tickets available at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.com or the venue box office.
Get her done.
Proudly presented by 99.9 Kiss Country.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor.
Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating. I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild.
If you haven't watched the show yet, get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount+.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Where to look for that. I just usually wait for it to pop up in my feed that somebody else has told somebody happy birthday, or I usually catch up with people after they post, hey, thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys. Like, yeah, here you go. Yeah, happy birthday.
Awesome. Congratulations on your day of birth. I had no idea until 43 other people said it on your Facebook.
I got you before. You just missed it. You just missed it. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and Odell Beckham Jr. is going to the Baltimore Ravens. 1 year, $15 million deal. Could be worth 18, depending on what the incentives are.
So I'm looking at Baltimore and where they sit right now.
As far as cap?
As far as the cap.
Okay.
They're free and clear for the next 3 years. They can do practically anything they want, which is, I believe, part of what's been Lamar Jackson's problem, is that you're being cheap when you don't have to because you've spent so well that they have $80 million in cap space next year. Now, that's with nothing for Lamar. So if that comes in at 40, 45, whatever the case may be, obviously you're not going to have as much. But outside of Lamar, it's basically Patrick Queen, maybe Devin Duvernay, Justin Madubuike. That's all you have to re-sign out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty free and clear. Now, would it be just completely insane of me to think that maybe Baltimore is looking at this, going, we'll give him a legit one in Odell Beckham. We'll have Rashad Bateman, hope that he's healthy, hope that he's around, and we can legitimately see what we have out of Lamar. We'll make you play on the franchise tag because you have no other options in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Not telling you that's where it is, but and we'll do this for one more year because you have nowhere else to go.
At that point, does he play?
I don't see how you could not. Because you can't silence. So the issues with Lamar are not, can he play? The issues are, can he stay healthy? And how is he going to age over the life of the contract? So you petulantly sit on a sideline. That's not going to do anything to squelch those fears. This is why I think you're at one of the great standoffs I've ever seen.
Yeah, but if I'm Lamar, see that's my problem. Like we've, to some level, I fault Lamar for all of this, but in another sense, I don't, because I know in my heart of hearts how much pain I've been in, how much I have sat out for the last few years. I'm not stepping back onto that field without guaranteed money. I'm not without security for the future. See, I think that should be his MO right now of, okay, so I'm not getting the 5-year deal, but hey, let's go back to the 3-year thing. Give me as much as I can get security-wise. But I'm not stepping on the field for $32 million this year.
I'm not sure that Baltimore's not drawing the line in the sand of,
maybe.
Well, then you're not going to step on the field for us.
Yeah.
We'll prop up, and this is their thinking, not mine, we'll prop up Tyler Huntley with Odell Beckham Jr., and a year from now we'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. Well.
I mean, this is one of the weirdest situations I've ever seen, and I swear you made it more convoluted by signing Odell Beckham Jr. than you had done with anything else you had done.
It's a head scratcher. It's an absolute head scratcher.
It genuinely makes less sense to me now than it did before this signing.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to find out more. And I know you can't either. And whenever the latest comes in, we will bring it to you right here in the Sports
Well, there is a latest that we'll talk about in the next hour because there could be some movement with Draftmas.
Ah.
We're going to play a fun game of Who Wants You to Know That?
Okay.
Because to me, it's really not all that hard to figure out.
All right. Still to come on the program as well. Yes, at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, we will get into the Masters. What a weekend it was.
Hello, friends.
Yeah.
Live from Butler Cabin.
Yesterday was just incredible. I mean, it was dawn to dusk, and it was the Jon Rahm show.
CBS didn't do itself any favors, but
why?
Oh, the way you did the coverage, you show back up at 3 o'clock, and then the weather horn goes off after 14 minutes. Like, whoa, great. The leaders have played a hole. That was fun.
I didn't notice any of that. I was watching all of the individual stream, the pay-per-view streams. Just
I hate those so
flipping
much.
Back and forth between the 14th, 15th, and 16th. And
hey, look, we're going to show you these three groups.
Channel, and
we're going to show you these three groups that have absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of this tournament.
I mean, there were two. There were two fun groups to watch on Sunday, and it was Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka. And that wasn't even all that interesting after Koepka had his big explosion.
Oh, no, it was interesting because there was a time that I thought Brooks Koepka was going to wrap his 4-iron around somebody's head.
Oh, really? He got a little tense, did he?
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that momentarily.
And then watching the Scotty Scheffler group, Phil Mickelson, Scotty Scheffler, man, it was just entertaining to watch those guys try to chase down a good number. You knew they didn't have a shot at winning the tournament. Like, it was going to be up to Jon Rahm to piddle in his pants. Thankfully for him, he did not do that. But it was a lot of fun watching that other group.
The thing about Jon Rahm is he's just so consistent. He's got that really tight, really compact swing. He just doesn't miss that often.
Mm-mm.
I mean, he had a drive that went 90 yards. Didn't change anything. Changed absolutely nothing.
That's why he's one of the greatest in the world.
Adam Black said ESPN Plus didn't have the leaders as a feature group. Trust me, I sent off a couple emails about that. See if anybody listens to me. I'm going to say I doubt it.
Did they not?
No.
I didn't even notice that.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I watched way more of Matt Fitzpatrick than I wanted to. Oh, look at this guy that's in 20th that has nothing to do with the outcome.
I thought it was awesome just to sit yesterday and enjoy, what was it, 18 holes that Jon Rahm had to play yesterday? Or,
he played 30, I think.
Yeah, math's hard.
Yeah.
27, is that right?
I really hope somebody isolates that.
It was more than 18 holes.
I hope somebody isolates that clip so I can use that look on his face.
Like,
what is 18 plus 9?
I can't even do the math right now. I'm so tired. It is the Sportsocracy. You're
43 and a half. Is that math?
We are coming to you live from the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We got NFL draft team needs as well.
Got 3 more of those.
Coming up after the break, we'll get just a bit outside. Then we'll give you the Kansas City Chiefs draft needs for this 2023 draft.
That got skipped on Friday for the New Orleans Saints because we had people in the chat with clamoring for the Saints. So we'll touch base with the Chiefs, touch base with the Chargers, and the Los Angeles Rams, which I have a little birdie told me.
So it's a good West Coast feel today in the draft needs leading up to our coverage of each and every pick right here in the Sportsocracy.
Which is going to be wire to wire from the first pick to the 256th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft and A-plus mock drafts. Each team, what is the best this could go? I didn't just pick the best players. I took who's been in your building, who I've heard you've talked to. So if you get mad at this one, you're going to have to be mad at your team, not at me, because they're the ones wasting their top 30 visits.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful sunshine in the forecast all week long, and we warm things up after a cold Easter holiday weekend. Things really warming up this week. By Wednesday, we're talking mid-70s, and it is a beautiful stretch of mid-April weather here in Asheville. 33 our low in the valley tonight, some below freezing numbers with elevation tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 68, low 37, mid-70s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned, doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Hello there. My name is Shell, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Whether you are spraying down the shop or getting winter's grime off your own home, a pressure washer from Northern Tool says you're serious about spring cleaning. From all electric power horse to Honda-powered Northstar models, they've got the right machine for any type of clean. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And, Jon Rahm put in a great performance this weekend at the Masters. No doubt about it. May not have been the most improbable thing that happened all weekend, though, because there was a team in minor league baseball that scored 7 runs. I had to tell this story. I saw it yesterday, and I went, you know what? This is it. This is the story, and I don't care. And anytime I can bring up the Rocket City Trash Pandas on this show, I'm going to do it. So the Chattanooga Lookouts and the Rocket City Trash Pandas were having a double-A showdown the other day when, the Trash Pandas, they threw a no-hitter. They lost. And that's not unusual so much. I mean, it is unusual that it happens, but typically the score is like 1-0, 2-1, maybe. They lost 7-5, and they lost in the last inning of a 7-inning doubleheader because at the top of the inning, they allowed 7 runs without giving up a single hit. There was walk after walk after walk. It went walk, walk, pop out, walk, strike out, walk, error, 2 runs scored, hit by the pitch, bases loaded in a 3-3 tie, hit by a pitch, hit by a pitch. 7 runs were given up without a single hit. And unfortunately, the Chattanooga Lookouts could not come back. Or excuse me, the Trash Pandas could not come back in the bottom of the 9th inning. They did score 2 runs to make it a 7-5 ball game. That is insanity.
And I'm going to go with Satisfied Browns fan who says, I'm sure all 6 fans were really upset. Speaking of upset, a Super Bowl champion really upset our new Masters champion. If you didn't hear this story, Jon Rahm and Zach Ertz, tight end of the Arizona Cardinals, are really good friends.
Okay.
And they're in a chat group. And apparently, Zach Ertz is not as superstitious as I am. Because when Jon Rahm stepped up to the first tee, he had just read a text from his buddy Zach Ertz, and I will tell you what it said. This was Jon Rahm and his acceptance last night. For those people who believe in jinxing other players, people, or whatever it may be, Thursday morning was when I was getting in my golf cart to get to this putting green. 10 minutes before tee time, I saw a text from a good friend of mine. I'm going to name him because he's a Super Bowl champion. Zach Ertz. He sent the text, that first green's looking like a walk in the park, 10 minutes before I 4-putted it to start the round. So thank you, Zach. Don't ever do that again. Don't jinx people with... Okay, I understand I'm the superstitious when I got 13s tattooed all over my body. I get it. Stop jinxing people, okay? Don't say things are, oh, you got this in the bag. That makes me want to slap people so bad I can't stand it. Nothing is in the bag until it is actually in the bag.
Uh-huh.
That's not the only story I have from Augusta. How much did Jon Rahm win yesterday?
Was it 3.4?
It was $3.14 million. $3.24 million,
okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
How much did Brooks Koepka win for winning the LIV Orlando the week before?
$27 million.
It's $4 million. Brooks Koepka won more for winning a live tournament in Orlando than Jon Rahm. If you want to know why to live, that's really all I need to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a little bit of philosophy that we'll talk about the next hour when it comes to live. And also, I'm really glad that Brooks Koepka only whined about Patrick Cantlay instead of actually bludgeoning him with a 4-iron, which is what I thought was going to happen.
I missed this. What happened?
So Brooks Koepka Brooks and I would get along really well on a golf course because we both live by the adage of it's perfectly fine to suck, just do it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Cantlay is one of the slowest players on the tour. Did you notice Jim Nantz kept saying they're having to wait at every tee? There was a reason for that, and it's because Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka are 2 of the fastest players on the tour. Patrick Cantlay plays at a snail's pace, and it infuriated me watching it the entire day. Like, you're not competing for it. Get out of the way.
Oh, come on. He was trying to climb the leaderboard.
Oh, that's great. Well, you should be better.
You should be better.
You should be better. You could play quicker.
What did he finish, like 6 under?
Who cares? Did he win? Nope.
Did he win?
Was he ever competitive to win? Nope. I know you don't play golf, so you don't understand how infuriating that is. I am very quick on a golf course. I mean, I'm a big driver. You can assume that by looking at me. So you're going to have to go.
Everyone needs you to go.
Because there's a lot of fairway where you're still in range.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one of those that tends to look at a 370-yard hole and go, well, I can't reach it. So maybe I should just play shape. I play this game to hit my driver many times really far.
Yeah.
That's it. So get out of the way. That's why he and DeChambeau hated each other so much. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. You talked about that ad nauseum.
Oh, because it's so infuriating.
Back when Bryson was a thing.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure that's not why Koepka just completely went off the rails yesterday. It wouldn't be the first time. He is really sensitive to pace.
Mm-hmm.
I can sympathize because so am I. Or at least that's what I blame it on.
Yeah. You get no sympathy from me on that one.
You don't play the sport, so you don't.
I mean, to me, it's just one of those things you have to deal with, though, right? I mean, like.
No. No. This should be legislated way more aggressively than it is. This would be like, all right.
Do we need T-clocks?
Oh,
Baseball's
no
gone to the pitch
Well, they
clock.
have one. They have one. You just have to be miserably slow to have it enforced. You'll hear that on a broadcast from time to time that Bryson DeChambeau or Patrick Cantlay or somebody's on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is there's somebody sitting there timing them.
Ah, okay.
And if
I didn't even know that.
Once you get on the clock, if you fall afoul of the timing rules, then you can be penalized. A, it's not nearly quick enough. B, it's not enforced nearly enough. I felt bad for Koepka the entire round going, oh, I bet I know what the first thing out of his mouth is. I was right.
Yep.
And I was right.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN. Asheville DNA Tooth Podcast says he had a microscopic amount of interest, and then after 2 weather delays, didn't care anymore. I get it.
I 100% get it.
Absolutely. However, I've now jumped. I've jumped to full golf fan now. Like, I don't see how you didn't see the interest in what was going on.
Well,
yesterday.
I mean, with the rain, I get it.
Oh,
especially if you live here, because it was just miserable here. So you wanted it. You wanted to have that thing to watch. Then they played at 8:30 in the morning. I'm not getting up at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday. Sorry,
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Right. I was up already. It didn't matter to me.
I wasn't. And guess what? I didn't see the end of the third round. I woke up and went, well, we're here. Here
Nice.
we are. Hello, friends. Live from Butler Cabin. Let's go.
Right. I get tapping out on it on Saturday, but for Sunday, you got a round and a half of the leaders, and it was all phenomenal. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball. And this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Imagine transforming your outdoor space into a stylish and functional area for relaxation and entertainment. Imagine superior durability and longevity, ensuring that your investment lasts for years to come. Imagine whatever you'd like. Decorators Composite Decking, Railing, Balusters, and Accessories can help you create a deck that reflects your personal style and provides an inviting space for you and your loved ones to gather. Make your vision a reality. To learn more, visit decorators.com. That's decorators with a K.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, it's Cassidy Hubbarth from ESPN.
I'm Nico Ramos, a sports broadcaster here in Manila.
Together, we have a new podcast we can't wait to share with you. Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game.
You know, there's religion, there's politics, and there's basketball. And those are the three things you talk about in the Philippines.
It's a basketball love affair like no other. Listen to Hoops Philippines' love of the game on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked!
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. And the Sportsocracy is bringing you all of your Draftmas coverage leading up to the draft at the end of this month, which we will be covering live on the YouTube stream.
Every pick, I have so many stories. I've got one, so I'll be recording A-plus mock draft, 7 rounds, guys that your teams have talked to. There's a fun prospect that I can't remember what team he goes to, but he goes to a school that I had never even heard of before this started.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always fun for me.
I like it. All right, so all the Draftmas coverage here in the Sportsocracy and draft team needs. We've been going through each and every team in the NFL, and at number 32 overall in the first round.
It's 31. I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. I'm not doing it. I'm tired of people saying, well, you got the pick numbers wrong. Not according to the NFL, I don't. But I'm really tired of responding.
With the last pick in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft, it is the Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Biggest need for this team?
I don't love where this offensive line is sitting right now. I didn't thoroughly understand the Jawan Taylor Orlando Brown thing. I mean, if you were catching a discount, all right, that I get, but you didn't. You lose Andrew Wiley, and now I'm just looking at it going, A, you're really thin. Now, you still got 4 pieces that I like. One of them's playing left tackle for the first time in his life, which I'm not super fond of. So, for me, offensive tackle and edge are 1A and 1B. And it really just depends on what falls to you at the back end of the first round. The beauty of being a team like Kansas City is that, okay, so do you need a receiver? Yeah, you do. Because I don't think Richie James is going to – I don't think that's going to fill that need. And I get he was okay with the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you've fixed that. But then you look around the roster and just go, it's fine. Yeah, you got Chris Jones. It's fine. You need another pass rusher? Yeah, you do. You added Charles Omenihu. Still need another one. You look at the line and go, well, you got 3 that I know are just all world.
Yeah.
And then you tackle, and I'm not so sure how that works. I don't love
you have a right tackle, at least, right? I mean, because you got Jawan. Because you got Jawan Taylor. So, I mean, if he's just god-awful on the left side, you can move him over to the right side.
Well, I mean, you didn't pay him $20 million to play on the right.
I don't
actually
care.
think.
If it's not working, I don't care. I'm going to move you to where it works.
Yeah, I'm not paying $20 million to a right tackle, but that's just me. And I'm trusting Andy Reid. If this was anybody else, I would be mocking this sideways.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Andy Reid. I mean, I've watched him with Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, guys that I liked as a blanket scout, and apparently 31 teams looked at and went, no, more than once apiece. And they made them both Pro Bowlers.
All right, so how do you see the first round shaking out, and which one of those do they get?
Depends on who falls. If Darnell Wright or DeJuan Jones falls to the back end of the first round, they're not going to survive past Kansas City. Because that's your right tackle of the future. That's where both of those guys play. Then, now I'm looking at the line going, yeah, I'm okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If it's defensive tackle, which I do think is a need, Notorious B.I.G. in our YouTube comment said they couldn't stop the run with Kalen and Chris Jones. Kalen's gone. They need a defensive lineman. I agree with that. This might be the worst interior defensive line draft I've ever seen. And the ones that are even there, I don't necessarily think they fit next to Chris Jones. There are some that I like later on that can be pass rushing guys or runs, depending on what it is you're looking for. I'm not seeing a lot of guys that I'm feeling warm and fuzzy about taking early. Virtually every time I put a defensive tackle on a team, I feel like I'm reaching. Kansas City's not really well known for doing that. So I agree that that's a need, but I could also see them using that pick or using their picks on other things and then finding a guy that's cut down the line, whether it's in the preseason or just somebody that's still out there that they feel like fits their system, because this is so bad on the interior.
So a guy like you like Mozzie Smith from Michigan.
I do, but I don't like him next to Chris Jones. I just don't think that's a good fit.
Okay.
I see him in the middle of a 3-4 because there are things about him that I mean, you see him in the lobby and you go, whoa, that's a dog. And then you watch some of his tape and you go, ew. Not as much dog-like as I would like it to be. And I'm just not sure that's going to fit next to Chris Jones. I'm also not sure he's going to be there. Then you get into like the Brian Breezes and Kalijah Cansey, who I don't think is going to be there when they come up at 31. So it's hard for me to find a way that you're going to fill that because it gets so bleak down the line.
Right.
There is also a possibility, and just know that this has been said to me more than once, that the NFL on the whole is not as wild about the receiver class as you might think.
Okay.
Which means there is a better than zero chance that one of them falls to the end of the first round that you don't think there's any possibility it's going to happen. I don't think it will be Zay Flowers. It could be Jalen Hyatt. It could be other guys we've talked about.
I didn't even know we were talking about Jalen Hyatt as a first-round prospect.
Depends on who you are. It depends on who you're talking to. That's one that I'm routinely told he's going to go higher than you think. But then you get into like Josh Downs. There's now no hope of him going in the first round. None. And it's because this wide receiver class is not as good as people think it is. And I agree. It's just they're on Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm on Quentin Johnston.
So the class is – see, I thought the class was pretty deep, pretty talented.
At wide receiver?
Yeah.
It's deep. There's just not the high-end talent.
Okay.
I mean, PFF put out a list, and I can't remember which one of the writers did it, but they ranked the receivers that have come out in the last 3 classes, much like we did. They had 2 in this class that were in the top 14. So you don't have the high side, you just got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So you could see a team, like if Zay Flowers falls to 31, there's no shot he's not a Kansas City Chief.
Right.
None. And that's what they're going to do. It's what they do every year. Oh, yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah, doesn't that just irk you?
Oh, to imagine him and MVS and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. I mean, it's just let's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
Why
they just
not?
be fast real.
Why not?
They just be fast real good.
I mean, Kansas City's one of those teams, though. They're one of those teams you look at and you go, I'm just going to trust the process here.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe because it's what they do. So, ever since the Pat Mahomes era started, what they do is either sit where they are or they fall in love with a guy and move up a little bit. With a team that's just desperate to bail out. That's what they did last year with Trent McDuffie. And I can't remember who the player was, but there was a player that went in front of the team they traded with, and they were they were blowing up everybody's phone. We must bail out. There's nobody we like here. And so Kansas City got a good value to go up and get a player in Trent McDuffie that they really liked. That's what good teams do. It's why teams like Kansas City are good for eons. All that and the fact that you have the best quarterback in the NFL.
You also have running back listed as a need.
Do you know the running backs that are currently on this roster?
Well, I
Outside
mean, I know
Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco, and CEH is still there, right?
We figured this out. He's awful, okay? He's terrible. He's awful. Other than that, it's failed New York Jet LaMichael Pirine, which there were times I wasn't actually sure that he understood he was supposed to run behind his linemen. Don't run away from them, run behind them. And Jerry and Ely. That's it. He's a little gadget back. Kansas City is one of the teams I see in that 3 to 4 range. Running back falls. that they really like the fit with Pacheco. And I'm thinking more the Tyjae Spears type. One that can get out in space and hurt you and fill that Jerick McKinnon role.
Mm-hmm.
They could also bring him back. Running back market hasn't moved at all. But could I see them looking at that going, we can spend our dollars better in other places? I do.
Okay. All right.
John Ross is also on this roster, and every time I say that, I just laugh.
Is he really?
Yes.
Kansas City's got 10 picks. They got 10 picks total. Now, 4 of those are in round 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
So they got an opportunity here to add a lot of depth pieces, deep bench pieces. Is that where you're looking at some secondary help?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not as – I don't think the secondary is – I have a problem with, okay, you drafted 3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want to add another young guy to that?
Right.
I would look to add a veteran. That's I get yelled at when we do these mock drafts all the time because, well, we need a corner. Yeah, you've already got 3 young ones. Yeah, you need one that's been in the league for more than 15 minutes because just compounding young on top of young is not really how you fix a problem. And I don't think it's a problem.
No,
I think
they
you just let
played
these
really
guys,
well.
I just think you let them develop for a year. And, I mean, they played well at the end of last year.
Yeah, the rookies played really well in the Super Bowl run. So you couldn't ask for much more.
Don't be shocked if Kansas City is the team that sits back. And now they've been mentioned as a trade-up candidate multiple times. Just remember I said this, Broderick Jones. If he falls past the New York Jets, don't be shocked if they start trying to call to get up there to go get him. I've been told they really like him.
And when you're
the only ones.
And when you're a team that doesn't have a whole lot of needs, you don't have a whole lot of need for all that draft capital.
No, and you've got
a
a lot of teams that are just desperate to bail out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arizona, that's all the way to 3. You're not going that high. But they're the first of about 15 teams that would bail out for 100% value. If you would give them what these picks are actually worth, they'll bail out in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Problem is that nobody's jumping up and down to do that because there's not really high-end talent in this class. But don't be shocked if as you do with Kansas City, I've done it 3 years in a row with them. They just sit back, they take a few guys, and the next thing you know, they added 6 rotational pieces to an already ridiculously good roster.
They are the defending Super Bowl champions, and did they lose some pieces? Sure. But they got all the draft capital that they need to replace those pieces and, of course, be at the top of the AFC once again, threaten to win another Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. This is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400, and, of course, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Yep, the Masters was huge yesterday. Saturday was a washout, but it made yesterday even better. We'll discuss more of it coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful sunshine in the forecast all week long, and we warm things up after a cold Easter holiday weekend. Things really warming up this week. By Wednesday, we're talking mid-70s, and it is a beautiful stretch of mid-April weather here in Asheville. 33 our low in the valley tonight, some below freezing numbers with elevation tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 68, low 37, mid-70s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell fans can bring back the Beefy Crunch Burrito or Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos. Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos is falling behind. Got to step it up. Rewards members, vote once daily till April 12th to bring back your favorite for a limited time at participating Taco Bell locations. Get the app and vote today.
iHeart Podcasts is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family. Tune into On Purpose with Jay Shetty, the hit podcast where the former monk shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose.
Try something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time with your partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, do the same activities. Let's see them do something fresh and new.
Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd
counts.
rather not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Listening to this station on your free iHeartRadio app could put $5,000 in your pocket.
No way, are you kidding me?
Open your app and search this station to be instantly qualified for the cash. Get access to all the music, radio, podcasts, playlists,
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Doug Brown. The Timberwolves go into tomorrow night's play-in game against the Lakers without Jaden McDaniels, who punched a wall on Sunday, and without Rudy Gobert, suspended by the team for punching teammate Kyle Anderson. ESPN's Tim McMahon.
There's no defense of this, and Rudy admittedly can be a difficult teammate, right? Yeah. Yep. Going back to the whole Donovan Mitchell-Gobert thing, like pre-COVID, there was tension there because Rudy admittedly, like if Rudy's open for a lob, he doesn't get it, you're going to hear about it.
Tim McMahon on the Hoop Collective podcast. Pirates shortstop O'Neal Cruz will be out up to 4 months after getting hurt on a tag play at the plate on Sunday. He's already had surgery for a broken lower left leg and ligament damage in his left ankle. The WNBA draft tonight in New York City. The Indiana Fever hold the number 1 pick. It's projected to be South Carolina's Aaliyah Boston. Draft coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And the WNBA announces today, starting this season, teams will be allowed to take charter flights for back-to-back games and all postseason games.
Coming up Tuesday, he's in my top 10. Jada joins to talk coffee, and maybe we're going to ask him about music too. Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles studio, as always, here on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, so you can join us in the chat. Yep, the Masters in the books. Jon Rahm is your champion of the 87th Masters. We haven't even talked about Phil Mickelson yet, and what a great story that was. We'll talk about that coming up shortly. But first, I mean, when there's talk about a major move at the top of the NFL draft, you got to go that way first. So, apparently there are 6 teams, according to Adam Schefter, that are interested in the number 3 pick owned by the Arizona Cardinals.
And from what I'm told, they're not all interested in a quarterback. There is a better... I would say it is a better chance right now than there has been through the entire process that you only have 2 quarterbacks go in the top 5.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Indianapolis is you get into this fun, who wants you to know that? All right, so 6 teams have called Arizona. I think it's pretty easy to figure out a few of them. I would say Indianapolis has at least made a precursory call.
Sure.
Seattle has probably made a precursory call.
Okay.
I would say Detroit has as well. Philadelphia has as well. Because you can go up there and get the elite defensive player that they're all looking for. That's 4. Who are the other 2? Las Vegas doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from everything I hear, they're not taking a quarterback. We're rolling with Garoppolo. We got Hoyer. If these 2 guys don't work out, we're going to be looking for a new coaching staff next year anyway. Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
That's where I'm at. That's the 6 that make the most sense. Now, there's almost always, when things like this happen, there's one you're not thinking about. I don't know who that is. Those are the 6 teams I've heard from everybody I've talked to today.
Not shocked. We've been talking about the Baltimore thing. Hell, Eric DeCosta said it the other day that the right opportunity was there, we'd take a quarterback in the first round.
And
well,
I
if you
get
trade
that,
up to 3, there's the opportunity.
Well, and I get that Baltimore doesn't have the ammo to get up to 3. You'd have to gut this roster for the next 4 years, and you're not doing that for Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Sorry, you're just not doing it. There would be a lot to get done because I feel like they would have to move Lamar before they could move up to do that. So that really, I'm not going to say it takes one out. It's just that's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, look how long we've been gnashing teeth with he who shall not be named, Captain Hiawaska himself. And that's just trying to figure out what second-round pick you want.
You did hear Joe D over the weekend.
I did.
Okay.
Of course I did.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Joe D and I look like brothers. There's a reason. Because that's my dog.
I mean, when Joe D gets up on a stage and says, Aaron Rodgers, he's coming.
And I fully believe it. I also know that was a WFAN event, and Joe D might have been 5 or 6 domestic lights deep. Might not have thought anybody was recording that. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona wants out of 3. There's zero doubt in my mind about that. And I love in the story, the Cardinals are still mulling whether to move the pick or make it. Sources told ESPN. They're moving this pick. There's virtually no shot to me that they don't. What is more interesting to me is who they move it to. Indianapolis doesn't have to move up. I thought that was a smokescreen the entire time. I fully believe they're in on Will Levis. The Anthony Richardson thing has been a smokescreen to get somebody else to come get him. Because there is a portion of their fan base that really likes him. And if he's not on the board, it's a great way to go, we'll see, we couldn't. We do to somebody else just overpaid to go get him, so we took Will Levis. Oh, got the 4th quarterback, which is the one you secretly wanted the entire time. Who this pick goes to can change the entire first round. I have been told the drop dead spot on Jalen Carter's Philadelphia at 10. He will not get by them. Because they feel like with Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, they already have the leadership on this team that is strong enough that we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be fine. We'll figure out a way to get past the maturity issues. And Philadelphia is so good that they can take a risk like that. Not every team can. You've got to have really good leadership in your locker room to feel like you can take a swing like that in the top 10. Where I'm curious is, are they one of these teams calling up to go get Will Anderson?
The Philadelphia Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's been a little low-lying rumor all draft season long. And, I mean, it makes a good amount of sense.
Would you package both picks to get up there?
I mean, you would have to. I'm not so sure that I would do it. Just depends on how good I feel about it's just how good I feel about Jalen Carter.
I don't
because I'm 99% sure he's going to be there. I don't think Chicago. For me, Carter, if he goes in the top 10, it's one of 2 teams. It's either Chicago or Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And if Philadelphia trades out, I can almost promise you Arizona's not taking him.
I think Jalen's already met twice with Chicago.
Yeah.
So Chicago's probably hot on him.
Yeah, be really careful how you treat that. Meeting with him twice is usually I really wish you would quit saying stupid things, because if you would stop doing that, we would just draft you and we would not have needed to see you again.
3rd time's a charm. Don't say anything that makes me rip my hair out this time.
This time, we wrote it down. You just read.
Okay, I can see how that could be a bad sign. All right.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get wrapped up into that they had him in the building. Guys have a lot of visits. A lot of times guys have a lot of visits means guys have a lot of red flags, and they want to hear you answer to them in person.
Right.
Or they want to see you in the room. There are a lot of different answers to that. I told you last week about Josh Downs. He has 0 pre-draft visits for a guy that's top 50 for virtually every person I've talked to.
And is that necessarily a bad thing?
No, it's not. It just means that people don't have any questions. They know exactly what they're getting. I don't need you to be here. I have it on tape. You went to the combine. You did things at the combine that lended themselves to exactly what I already thought. So I don't need you to come in here to I mean, we could buy you a steak, which would be lovely.
Right.
Sure, you'd enjoy that, but we don't have to.
The question with the Arizona pick, though, is would anybody get up there to 3 to get Jalen Carter? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
No, nobody's trading up to get Jalen Carter. I'm not sure. there is a rumor that Arizona would be looking to move back to mitigate the risk to take Jalen Carter. I don't buy that. As young as this defense is, you can't miss here.
No.
I mean, because if you trade back, somebody goes up there and gets Will Anderson, you fall back, take Jalen Carter, and he's just lives in trouble. Yeah, that's not a – you're off to a really poor start.
I mean, I can understand why Jonathan Gannon would want him. And with his leadership now, maybe that's
you're not
maybe
doing
that's
that
less.
You're not doing that with a young team. Just
Yeah,
not doing it.
Maybe.
You're just not. That's the reason the Chicago thing's never made sense to me. You have all these young guys, and yeah, they went and added a couple linebackers, but if you still look at the starting 11, 7 of them are within their first 3 years in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a really young defense. And now you're going to center it around a guy that I don't remember the last time I saw somebody boo-boo kitty the draft process as bad as Jalen Carter has. Just don't buy it. When you hear it makes a lot more sense to assume horses than zebras. And so when I saw this story this morning, I laughed and said, who wants you to know that? Why did this come out? Adam Schefter puts out a report. It's all over Twitter. 6 teams have called the Arizona Cardinals. Who wants you to know that?
The Cardinals.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Cardinals want you to know that pick is up for auction.
Well, everybody knows it's up for sale. That's been widely known around the league for weeks. The reason a report like this comes out is, hey, you better bring us your best offer because we're trying to do something sooner than later. Because we don't really know what's going to happen at 1-2. We know who the players are, we think. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if
Houston makes the switch. You know Carolina's not.
No, Carolina's sticking at 1. They're going to take Bryce Young. He's in the building right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's there today.
Yep.
It's from there that it gets interesting to me because nobody I talk to has C.J. Stroud with Houston. And where my brain immediately went is that Arizona may have a little bit of intel somewhere that Houston's going to take Will Anderson. And not everybody's after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I think what Arizona does is going to be very telling to what Houston does. Because I don't think you have to move up to get Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
So if you see somebody package those picks, it's probably to get Will Anderson, not Jalen Richardson.
But if Will Anderson goes 2.
Will Anderson goes 2, then somebody's going to pay a king's ransom to get C.J. Stroud.
Right.
I think that's where you get Seattle in play. That's where you get Detroit in play. But because what it costs to get from 5 or 6 to 3 is not kill your franchise. And you could sit Stroud behind Geno Smith, behind Jared Goff for a year, really develop them in the system, and then turn them loose a year from now. Because neither one of those quarterbacks has a contract that's that onerous to get out of a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this gets so interesting.
To me, the risk would be too great to make a move to get up to 3. Because the only one that non-quarterback that you would move up for is Will.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Who
but
makes
if he's gone.
Okay, I'm not expressing what I'm trying to say here appropriately. This move at 3, this was Arizona's way of going, last call, because they have something in hand they like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason things like this come out. Okay, we got a trade package we like. We're not 100% sure what's happening in front of us, but whoever's making this move, they know. I'll give you an example. You remember the New York Jets traded up to 3 to get Sam Darnold? They knew unequivocally that Saquon Barkley was going at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unequivocally.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who Cleveland's taking at 1. Unfortunately, they thought it was going to be Sam Darnold and Josh Allen was going to fall in their lap. The Baker Mayfield thing was a bit of smoke screen. But they knew they were either getting Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. They were comfortable with both. They came off the second-round picks not knowing which quarterback was going to be there. That may be what a team does here at 3. And I feel like they're going to have a piece of information that tells them enough that there's a guy there that we will go get and be happy with.
Yep.
And who makes that move will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. And I won't be shocked if it happens by the end of the week.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It makes a lot of sense to make the move for a quarterback. But you were saying that there were teams that were not looking for a quarterback that could make that move.
Well,
I think if there's any chance that Houston doesn't take a quarterback, you don't make that move now. Like that's a wait. We have to wait till draft night to make that.
Not necessarily,
deal.
but all right. So think about the teams I just said. Yes, Detroit would be in on Will Anderson. Yes, Seattle would be in on Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
If they take him at 2, you're sitting at 3 with a quarterback that just fell in your lap. That universally we have all said is 1 or 2 in this class, depending on how you view him.
Mm-hmm.
There is a possibility that one of these teams is looking at it going, I don't care. I don't care which one falls in our lap.
No,
we're either going to get our future long-term franchise quarterback, or we're going to get the pass rusher that we've wanted forever. Now, do I think you're making that move without knowing which one of those is happening? Probably not.
That's what I'm thinking.
But there's a lot more of we know what's That was what I was saying with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
There's a lot more I know what you're going to do because let's say we've had some preliminary discussion about something else, and we can figure out where your head is. There's more of that goes on than people think. Have you ever wondered why the Calvin Ridley rule is a rule? That you're not allowed to bet on anything in the sport?
Yeah.
It's more for front office people than it is for players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's insider training.
100%.
Right.
Because you can get somebody that's been trying to trade up here that's like, give me $500,000 on the Houston Texans and take Will Anderson at 2.
Yeah, that's a no-no as well.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, when Calvin Ridley got busted, well, he's only one player that wasn't even on his team. No, but you'd be shocked. You would be shocked how much these guys know about teams, whether they're on that team or not.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 eastbound between exit 2 and exit 4A, 240 on the westbound side, slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound, stop and go between Hendersonville Road and Chimney Rock Road. 26 on the westbound side, slow between Airport Road and Bavard Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound, stop and go between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound, then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound, stop and go between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Etowah, Bavard Road, near Cummings Road, expect delays both directions. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends 4/15. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your sign to try Staples, where prints are perfect, guaranteed.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor. Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating. I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild.
If you haven't watched the show yet, get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount+.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio! Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And the Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. And, you know, sadly enough, the weather turned around here in Western North Carolina yesterday. Because, you know, Thursday or Saturday would have been a great day to just spend 12 hours in front of the television watching the 87th Masters.
It's because it was a deluge.
It was. But it was doing the same thing down in Augusta, so we didn't get play on Saturday. Not much of it. Anyway.
I have no idea why it took him so long to call that either. I sat there for 2 hours watching that going, how in the world are you asking these guys to do this? By the way, the plight of the caddy. I watch that. These guys make good money to carry a bag. I get that.
Yep.
They don't spend much time under that umbrella during the deluge. I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember which player it was, where the caddy is holding the umbrella while he's getting just drenched, and he's holding it over the ball. Like, yeah, this is starting to. I have a story that I want to tell right here, but I can't.
Hey, it's all for the love of the game, right?
I guess that's. I'm good. Have you heard this narrative about Brooks Koepka faded because he's not used to playing 72 holes? That is without a doubt the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, I don't know how stupid it is.
It's stupid.
Yeah. You're talking about a guy with knee injuries.
And he's perfectly healthy.
Yeah. Maybe.
He's perfectly healthy.
Maybe.
The fact that he was able to bend over to scout a putt tells you he's in much better shape than he was 2 years ago. I mean, it didn't hurt Phil, and he's 100.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks Koepka is built like a Terminator. You know why he faded? Well, because it's kind of what he does.
Because it happens.
Yeah, it's the first time it's happened in a major, but it's not the first time it's happened to him.
Right. Had what? He was 12 under to start out the third round.
Well, he was on fire in the first two.
Mm-hmm.
He faded in the third round. It's just he was so far in front that nobody could catch him. Then it went really off the rails.
Well, once they hit, what was it, 6? I think it was on the 6th hole of the final round. That's where it all started going downhill for Brooks.
And now, do you see what I was talking about with having the live guys in the top 5?
What?
That's advantageous to the PGA Tour, not to live. Do you have any desire to watch the next live golf
absolutely
event?
Not.
No.
I still don't care.
But having the awkward interactions between Brooks Koepka and Scotty Scheffler with Phil Mickelson, which to me was gold. It was gold.
See,
Phil's just out here wearing his big goofy sunglasses like, ha, 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 you all hate me and I don't care.
See, I watched all of it on Sunday, and I never thought about it once.
Oh, I did. I thought about the entire round.
I never once
and
thought
Phil
about.
Was thinking about it.
I mean, they're just the LIV thing because guess what? They did a great job of never mentioning that. Ever.
Oh, Jim Nantz had a couple little subtle digs.
Did he?
I can't remember what he said. He said something about the CW. He was talking about Brooks Koepka, and he said, "Yeah, he's used to being on the CW, the cart, something like that, the cartwheel or."
Well, good for him.
It was very obvious what he was trying to say.
Well, good for him.
Oh, Jim Nantz is great at that. Take the little
Yeah, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't lift anything for the live.
No, that's why I said this was short-sighted of all the. I'm friends with a lot of old school golf fans that thought this was just the end of the world. No, it's going to be advantageous to the PGA, which it already has been. It's 100% already been. You've got these, I don't remember what they call them, the signature events that these guys have to play. Yeah, that's positive. That's positive. I watch more golf probably than anybody you know, and about 90% of it is borderline unwatchable because you don't have anybody you know. I mean, yeah, it helps. It helps these guys that don't have the following. I want to see Jon Rahm. Yeah. I want to see Jon Rahm. I want to see Rory McIlroy because there's some you like, there's some you don't like. And if you don't like Jon Rahm, I'm really going to need you to explain to me why. I was watching him last night just going, that's the most likable dude on the planet Earth. And I don't even know why. You see Scotty Scheffler put the jacket on him, and you're like, I thought he was super likable until he was sitting next to Jon Rahm. I'm like, you're kind of a jerk.
Really?
But it's just a look on his face.
Just a comparison?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess it's what happens when people meet me and then they meet you. I'm like, oh, I thought you were a jerk before, but he's so nice that it makes you look worse.
Jon Rahm comes away with the championship. Phil Mickelson finished in second place.
And I loved every second of it.
He was tied for second place with Brooks Koepka at 8 under, and he had an amazing last round. Shot a 65 on Sunday. And just when you thought maybe he was going to fade away, maybe it was just, this was it. Everybody else kept dropping, and everybody else kept coming back down to his level, and you're like, oh no.
Oh, and Phil.
Does he have a shot? Like,
oh, I never thought he had a shot.
It was going to take a catastrophic breakdown.
A catastrophic?
Yes. It was going to take
That's an extra
something
syllable.
Major for Jon Rahm to not walk away with that. And obviously he got the job done, and rightfully so, he is the champion. But you thought for a second, there might be a chance.
Oh, I never thought that. But the fact that you never thought about the live thing is comical to me.
I did.
Because every time they showed Phil wearing those big, goofy aviators, and he looks like he's lost 50 pounds, and you hear the roars, and the roar it's just a little muted. But then there's the ones that are really in it, and you just see Phil going,
Daddy's back.
Oh, he looked like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I was thinking the entire round of, I would kill to have a microphone on him to hear what he's telling that caddy every time they stop.
How much of that, though, do you think was driven by the breakup and the live more than it was just the fact that he's contending again at a Masters? I mean, you go back to, what was that, the U.S. Open that he won 2 years ago down in Charleston or at Kiowa?
So this is what you hit there is kind of why I wanted to talk about this. And I am not making a political statement here or anything of the, well, yeah, I actually am. Yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. There is a narrative that people are so fractured and there's so many things that no, we don't. No, we don't. And you know what? The golf was living proof of that. Everybody tries to tell me how angry the golf fans are. Was it a little muted for Phil? A little bit. A little muted for Brooks? A little bit. About 5%. Mm-hmm. I'd say about 5% of people actually legitimately cared. Other than that, Phil's on 18, and the crowd goes nuts as soon as that putt goes down.
Yep.
Stop telling me we care.
No, we don't care.
But no, you have tried to. The PGA Tour has tried to make this big bad wolf out of live. It's going to go away. And you're going to bring all of these guys back just like you should. And the legacy of the Live Golf Tour will be that you got the stars to play in more tournaments. You got the purses pushed up, so these guys are making more money. And you got different benefits for the guys on the tour. That's it. That is all this tour. 5 years from now, that's all we'll remember.
Mm-hmm. Because either A, Live won't be around anymore, or I think the PGA will come to its senses and just go, you know what, y'all can play both. Play whatever you want to play.
There is no negative to letting these guys play.
No.
Because if you look at the schedule, It's in weeks that you don't care anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the Valero. Whoopie-doo. Corey Connors won that 2 weeks ago. Let him play.
Right, because
Do a team thing. You can absorb it for all I care.
Because what I felt like, and again, this is from the novice golf guy, I don't have the big division. I don't care about the PGA. For what this weekend was for me was, these guys are back. And like, it was bringing Brooks back in. It was bringing Phil back in. And it was like, these guys are home now. And the fact that they were competing and that they were in the final groupings and putting up numbers made me think the PGA needs to rethink this.
These guys got a paycheck. Many of them had a reason because they didn't know. And I'm telling you, if you haven't watched that Full Swing on Netflix and you have an adamant grudge against these live guys, watch all of it and then tell me you do. Watching how this works with these guys that fly out and they have to leave their kids, and then they fly out, they miss the cut, and they make $0 US. And you actually wind up costing yourself money by going. Watch that and then tell me you begrudge them. Now, you can be a moralist all you want to. At the end of the day, you got to provide for your families. And I looked at this and just said, you know what? You've made a mountain out of a molehill. This is not going to last for long. Yesterday was awesome, and I will reconvene for the next major. Because that's where I'm at. I want to see all these guys play together.
I agree.
And it was fantastic. By the way, got to say this, because I said it to you, Sahith Thagala.
Yes.
I really struggle to say his name. Dog. That kid is going to win a lot of tournaments, and he might have won me a lot of money. So, thank you. You are the anti-Hideki Matsuyama, who once famously cost me $1 million.
There you go.
I have to.
You got to follow that up. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful sunshine in the forecast all week long, and we warm things up after a cold Easter holiday weekend. Things really warming up this week. By Wednesday, we're talking mid-70s, and it is a beautiful stretch of mid-April weather here in Asheville. 33 our low in the valley tonight, some below freezing numbers with elevation tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 68, low 37, mid-70s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound Haywood County slow between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Edgewood Road delays. In Etowah, Boulevard Road at Cummings Road delays both directions. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need to travel, from passport photos to luggage. And now get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service, like passport photos, in just 10 minutes. In-store only. Offer ends $4.29. Exclusions apply. Get all set to jet at Staples.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest-rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person counts.
I'd rather not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and it's time to tell a story that I feel like Jeremy, if any of us were going to ever be in this situation, I think Jeremy would be the candidate.
You sure you can tell this story on air?
Story. Yeah. Yes.
If I'm the candidate,
it's not that.
You might need to.
It's not that. So you like telling stories, or not necessarily like telling stories. It just so happens that there have been so many kerfuffles with Delta Airlines that they wind up in this here segment or the crime segment, one or the other.
It's a very formidable airline to fly on.
Well, now I have a story about American Airlines. So an American Airlines traveler got into a little bit of trouble as there's a funny 5-minute video that has been posted out on a travel blog called The View from the Wing, and it shows a man just completely acting like a toddler, basically, on an airplane, and he is getting manhandled by air marshals. Now, the reason that he got so upset was because apparently he sat down, asked for a pre-flight cocktail. He wanted a gin and tonic, but apparently he was denied. And that was a bridge too far for the man. So in a 5-minute struggle with the air marshals, then you see this man sobbing like a wee little child.
Was he crying like the child that Israel Adesanya gloriously trolled?
He did.
Oh, he became my favorite fighter the second that happened.
This guy is just sobbing uncontrollably as he's being led away in handcuffs. I do feel like, Jeremy, you could have that day. You could have that bad of a day where you go, I need a drink, and someone says no, and you pitch a tantrum like a 5-year-old.
I like a beverage now and then, and if there's not one readily available, I'm much like a child.
Have you? Have you, or would you ever?
Throw a temper tantrum because I couldn't get a beer? Nobody's ever told me no to a beer. Nobody's ever told me no to many things, if we're being really honest.
There is a fear factor there.
Yeah, I mean, just come at the king, you best not miss.
There's a little bit of a fear factor there. I better get this giant behemoth a drink. And maybe that's it. Maybe this guy he wasn't, he was very clean cut, very, very, mannerly looking gentleman. You get a guy with a mullet.
Public, so.
You get a. Well, I mean, you would too if you knew you were getting ready to go to jail.
I've told you if I'm headed to jail, rest assured, it might be a bad day for somebody else. I am going to set a tempo.
He's got a plan.
Do have a plan. My story comes from China, and this is a neighborly brawl. Our first entrant is a man who in the report only goes by the name Gu. which is his last name.
Okay.
He was having a property dispute with his neighbor. And so he snuck onto his neighbor, Zhang's, chicken farm. And he was going to terrorize Mr. Zhang's chickens. Do you know how you terrorize a chicken? Because I was today years old when I learned this.
Okay.
Flashlight. Apparently, chickens really don't like flashlights, to the point that he shined a flashlight into the coop, and it caused a slew of them, almost 500, to flee into the corner, trampling each other to death. Courts find out about this. Police arrested Mr. Gu, ordered him to pay 3,000 won, which is roughly $436. And then he did it again. This time, 640 chickens trampled themselves to death, trying to get away from a flashlight. Well, this time, Chinese authorities were not quite as forgiving, and so they fined him 13,840 won, which is just slightly over $2,000, and sentenced him to 6 months in prison.
Ooh.
Now, here's my question. Why are chickens so scared of light? Like you said, that's what this story says. It actually goes into quite deep detail that flashlights terrified chickens, especially in the dark.
And it didn't have any guesses as to why? Did they not talk to did the reporter not do their job where they followed up with the chicken expert?
Who's the chicken expert? Foghorn Leghorn?
Colonel Sanders.
I see. That's just something we don't like around here.
I don't know. You got call the local
Did you
zoo.
say Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
If it's things that harm chickens, then you might be right. He might know.
Right. No, you would. If I were doing this, I used to be a reporter for our sister station, News Radio 570 WWNC. I would call the nature center, call the local zoo, find the local zoologist, and say, "Hey, what's up with the chickens being scared of light?" And they'll give you a quote, and then you throw it in the story. It's a very simple process. And I have so many questions now.
Well, I just Googled it, and the first thing that came up was chicken nightlight. And it's not a nightlight made with a chicken on it.
It's a nightlight for your chickens.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're scared of the light, why would you have a light?
Well, this one doesn't move. So I'm going to assume this is a lot like cats, that cats try to pounce on a flashlight. That's how you get back at somebody like, look, it's in it. Woo.
I'm going to make your chickens kill themselves.
I mean, here's the other question. Isn't that what you ultimately do with chickens anyway? Don't you have to sell them at some point?
Yeah, but if you're trying to get eggs, like you don't want them to die.
Look, I'm not your zoologist here. I was just trying to make chickens.
I mean, there is a reason to keep the chickens around.
I was just trying to make chicken salad out of flashlight chickens.
Right.
Okay, that's all I was trying to do.
If these are egg-laying hens, then them dying would be a bad thing.
I get it. It's just okay. There's another step here. Also, don't be a jerk and make the chickens trample themselves.
Yeah, that's
a thing I learned.
There's a special place for people like that.
And that's reason number 718 that I'm terrified of birds of all kinds.
Even the flightless ones.
Yep, don't care. Does it have wings?
Does.
I like it.
But they're delicious.
No, I like to eat them. I don't. But when they get all flappy, I'm out.
But when they're alive and kicking, I'm gone.
Nope. We have turkeys out in the parking lot here at Radio Range. Don't like them either.
Maybe that's the secret. That's the secret to fafoing with Jeremy. Just always have a bird in your pocket. And, like a magician, you can just pull it out, and when he gets mad, you can just flap it, and he'll go running away.
That's a good way to see your chicken get Dikembe Mutombo'd and you get smacked.
That's at ESPN Draft Nerd.
You at me all you want to. You throw a chicken at me, that chicken gets what it deserves, and that chicken can take it up with you.
That's so awful. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. More draft miss coverage coming up after the break. NFL team draft needs. We'll talk about the Los Angeles Rams.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Merriman Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go east of Long Shoals Road to Airport Road. 40 westbound is slow between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Etowah, Bavard Road approaching Cummings Road delays both directions. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need to travel, from passport photos to luggage. And now get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service, like passport photos, in just 10 minutes. In-store only. Offer ends $4.29. Exclusions apply. Get all set to jet at Staples. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. Parts like lift kits, intakes, exhaust, tires, lighting, and more. From custom grills to tonneau covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Capital One's Chief Brand Officer, Mark Mentry, weighs in on building loyalty with customers.
Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. We will do sound check parties that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and we can't pull that off without iHeart.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah! Every Friday.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumbing a bag of hammers.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And the Sportsocracy, dare to remind you, we are Draftmas Central, all of your NFL draft coverage right here. Anything breaking, we'll bring it to you, obviously. We've got team-by-team position breakdowns and all of that out on the YouTube stream. We got 3-round mock drafts for every team out on the channel, and we've got 7-rounder coming this week.
A+ 7-round mock drafts, tirelessly. And I have a story for every weird guy that you've brought in for a private visit from a school you've never heard of.
Draft team needs is where we're going right now, though, and let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, you don't have nearly as much capital as you would like to. But you have some. And that's a good thing because you have just a slew of holes.
Slew of needs.
I think this is – and you're going to tell me I'm crazy when I say this, because there's a report out that the Rams are, with that second-round pick, they're targeting an offensive lineman. Well, here's the problem with that. I'm not sure that you're not going to be overdrafting anybody that you're going to take there, because I don't see any way DeJuan Jones or Darnell Wright make it down there. I don't really see any way any of the highest-tier offensive linemen make it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just a drop-off. So let me give you a hypothetical. If Jahmyr Gibbs somehow makes it to their pick in the second round, do you do that or reach for an offensive lineman?
Oh, I'd go Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm not going to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he makes it that far. But if he does, then I would do that and not think a second thing about it, because that gives me another weapon.
Mm-hmm. And I'll try to see what's left in the third round. See what's left in the I don't know that I want to try to put a starter out there for the fifth round, but
you never know.
You never know.
Look, this is a deep class. I've said that time and time and time again. I would say probably 60% of the comments we get on mock drafts are, but they need a blank, and there's not one there. There's just not. I'm looking at the Rams saying, all right, if Will McDonald somehow falls, if Isaiah Foskey falls in your lap, or Jahmyr Gibbs falls in your lap, I can't say that you don't need a lineman more, but I'm not reaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing in this draft I'm not going to do, period. I don't like doing it ever. I'm a value-based drafting guy. I'll feel the need if it's not available with this pick, it might be for the next one. But I'm not going to reach.
Yep.
Because you've got too many players in this class that, to me, are rated very similarly. And I'm looking at the Rams. I don't think this roster is as bad as everybody else does. The problem is that you have no room for error whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You need a corner real bad. But trading away Jalen Ramsey, it's pretty obvious that you don't care that much.
Right.
Because you left it to Jacoby Durant and Darian Kendrick. That's their two starters right now.
Which I like Darian Kendrick, but he's not a number one guy. He's not even a number two guy.
Of corners that played enough snaps last year to rate according to PFF, how many of them rated worse than Darian Kendrick?
Ooh. None.
One.
Just one?
I don't know who it is.
It was that bad.
It was that bad.
Really?
Now, Jacoby Durant was pretty good. He just didn't play enough snaps to actually register. So, I mean, you could be okay. And I find myself doing that with them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You could be okay if those guys step up. If Quentin Lake is – I mean, you remember me talking about him a lot last year. I liked him as a box safety. Is he good enough right now? I don't know. And you have a lot of those if you're the Rams. But you do have 3 picks in, the top 77? You should be able to add 3 starters in this class. And the way that their class has worked out the best for me is you take the best player that falls to you. It's been Will McDonald a good many times. It's been Foskey several times. It's been Jahmyr Gibbs a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I come up at 69, there should be a corner there. There should be an offensive lineman at 77 or vice versa. And so I hit 3 of my 4 biggest needs, and then I try to find in day 3, I'm trying to find an interior lineman and another safety. You've got a lot of shots at the draft. I mean, there's not many. I mean, they have 11 picks. Not many teams have more than that.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to have to take some – you're really going to have to cash in some lottery tickets. You need to hit 5 of these picks. You need to have a class like the Kansas City Chiefs had last year.
Absolutely.
Because depth is the biggest problem on this team. GG Gambling in our YouTube comments said, I keep seeing Miles Murphy a lot with Will McDonald. If they both fail, who would they pick? I would take Will McDonald because I have him rated higher than Miles Murphy. I'm hearing more and more that Miles Murphy is going to go a little bit higher than I think because I had him in the top of the second round. Looking more now like he'll be very back into the first. But, I mean, that is to me, when I watched the Rams last year, the biggest problem they had was that they couldn't stop the rush and they couldn't get after a quarterback. And now you've lost Bobby Wagner. You don't really have, outside of Aaron Donald, anybody that consistently gets to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But you have just enough in the god-awful NFC I'm not sure I can toss this team yet. Like, if I'm the brain trust, if I'm Les Snead and making decisions for the Los Angeles Rams, I can't throw the baby out with the bathwater yet. Because even with all the holes, I can't find a way they're worse than the 6th best team in the NFC. That's if they do nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, defensively, you're going to get into a lot of track mates. How many quarterbacks in the NFC you legitimately think are better than Matthew Stafford right now?
Not many.
If this team's healthy and everything goes hunky-dunky, there's no reason they can't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that's better than blowing it up and getting 30 cents on the dollar for Allen Robinson and Matthew Stafford.
But again, that all hinges on health. You have to be healthy.
Because this team is so thin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't really afford one injury.
No, but I mean, because the back half of this roster it's not good. But this is what happens when you spit in the face of the draft for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason you'll never see another team do this. If I live to be 100 years old, you will never see another team that goes this long without a first-round pick, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be shocked if the NFL puts a rule in place. The NBA already has one. You cannot trade first-round picks in consecutive years.
Right.
This is why.
Right.
Because you start getting hurt, and you are dog water immediately.
Do they have another contending year in them? I don't think so.
Well, it just depends on what you consider contending. Are they winning the division? No, the 3rd best team in this division. Easy. But I'm also not sure that they're not the 5th best team in the conference, period.
Mm.
I don't like any team in the NFC South better than them. None.
Okay.
I could easily see a path where the NFC East cannibalizes each other because they're all so good.
Mm-hmm.
I like one team in the North definitively better than them, and that's the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, it's definitely debatable. Just depends on what the team looks like.
But you could easily be the 3rd best team in your own division.
Well, they are the 3rd best team in their own division.
And
this is a team that's contending for a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
But if everything stays right, you hit a few of these picks, you get a little depth on this roster so that you can withstand a sprained ankle. I mean, there were times last year that offensive line didn't have a guy on the field that looked like they belonged in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's bias. When you've got 3 that are over their skis, it makes the other 2 look worse than they are.
Now, looking at your draft needs up on the YouTube stream right now, you got edge rusher, offensive tackle, interior offensive lineman, cornerback, safety, running back. Where's the wide receiver? They need one of those, don't they?
Well, I mean, you got Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but Allen Robinson was pretty much a disaster last year.
You
don't
tell
you
me,
want something
all right,
else?
You pick at 36. You tell me the receiver you're going to add that's better than that. You're not. That's how thin this roster is.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver's probably the 7th or 8th biggest need to me, because at the end of the day, Ben Skoranek is better than what you're trotting out there at every one of these positions. You've lost too much.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no team in the NFL that needs to do more with less. But you got a lot of lottery tickets to make it work.
You do. They picked twice in the 3rd round. They got 3 5th-rounders, 3 6th-rounders, 2 7th-rounders. So you got a lot of back end of the draft capital. Day 3 is going to be very hot and heavy for the Los Angeles Rams. You got to hit some home runs. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful sunshine in the forecast all week long, and we warm things up after a cold Easter holiday weekend. Things really warming up this week. By Wednesday, we're talking mid-70s, and it is a beautiful stretch of mid-April weather here in Asheville. 33 our low in the valley tonight, some below freezing numbers with elevation tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 68, low 37, mid-70s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Merriman Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go east of Long Shoals Road to Airport Road. 40 westbound is slow between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Etowah, Brevard Road approaching Cummings Road delays both directions. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. $5 Mac Bowls are back. That's right, folks. Kentucky Fried Chicken's $5 mac and cheese bowls have returned, now featuring new 100% white meat chicken nuggets in KFC's hand-breaded original recipe. Available in classic or spicy. That's finger-licking good.
Spring fire season is here, and you are the best defense against wildfires. Make sure to have a water hose, bucket, steel rake, and a shovel for tossing dirt on the fire. Keep your phone with you in case you need help, and never leave a fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Timberwolves suspend Rudy Gobert for tomorrow night's play-in game against the Lakers. Gobert punched teammate Kyle Anderson during a timeout on Sunday. James season with a broken right hand. ESPN's Chiney Agwumike.
This guy was going to be the guy that guarded all the top players that the Timberwolves needed them to guard. Their best perimeter defender is now out because of another situation. So it wasn't just Rudy. It was a bigger domino effect of what's going on with the T-Wolves.
Chiney Agwumike on Fitz and Harry. The Pirates lose shortstop O'Neal Cruz for up to 4 months for surgery for a broken lower left leg and ligament damage to his left ankle. Cruz got hurt Sunday against the White Sox. Baseball today, the White Sox beat the Twins 4-3. Hanser Alberto with a 3-run homer for Chicago. And we're still less than 2 weeks into the season, but so far baseball's new rules are working. Batting average is up 16 points. The average 9-inning game is 31 minutes shorter than last year.
Coming up Tuesday, he's in my top 10. Jada joins to talk coffee, and maybe we're going to ask him about music too. Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
If you have... Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
This is the Sportsocracy, and you're listening on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, and of course everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're also seen live in the Ingles studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Top of the third hour of the program, it's daily draft time. And as we do every Monday, it's stock up, stock down from the weekend. And I feel like I should have the first pick in today's daily draft. I mean, just going back to our weekend pick, sure you got Jon Rahm.
I got the winner.
Sure you got the winner.
We were drafting the winner. I had the winner.
We were drafting the best team. You had Jon Rahm. I had Brooks Koepka. I had Jordan Spieth. I had Phil Mickelson. Just saying, my team overall is better than your team, despite the fact that you had the winner.
Have at it.
I only wanted the winner because I wanted to take him as my number one. Because, of course, that's the story of the weekend. Jon Rahm playing whatever it was, 27 holes or whatever yesterday, to go on to win the 87th Masters, becomes, wins his second major, won the U.S. Open in 2021. Now he's won the Masters. And what was it, the fourth time that someone from Spain has won the Masters? was a great moment as he was walking off the course. You know me, narrative guy. I love the touchy-feely moments with the kids and everything. And when he came off and he hugged Seve Ballesteros, like it was
that was Jose Maria.
Sorry, that guy. I felt like that was obviously the highlight of the weekend. Jon Rahm, Masters champion.
I mean, and it's hard to disagree with you. I mean, I heard. I can't remember if it's Jim Nance or one of the other commentators. You start to feel like a green jacket is just implied for certain guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Jon Rahm is the oldest looking 28-year-old I have ever seen in my life. Patrick Holt used to often say that Jay Wright was old enough to be my dad and yet looked younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I am 2 presidential terms older than Jon Rahm, and I look younger than him. Especially when he takes his hat. He took his hat off, and I just went, whoa, that hair. You should get you a comb here, big guy. Maybe tighten that up.
You don't get hat hair? Is that not a thing?
No,
for you?
I do.
When you've been outside,
I've never understood the guy that's like, I'm gonna shave this, and then I'm gonna leave like a little faux hawk. I mean, yes, I do understand the irony that I have the same thing. It's just in the back.
I was getting ready to say.
I get that. Okay, fashion doesn't care about your feelings.
Fashion.
I just this is, and I'm gonna piggyback off yours because my winner of the weekend was the PGA. This could have been an absolute disaster because Saturday was brutal to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pouring. Nothing is going down. Then Sunday morning, you start and the wind is howling. So nobody, and I hate. See, I guess this is where I fall apart as the golf purist. I don't want to watch these guys just get annihilated by a golf course. That U.S. Open theory that, well, the winner should not be more than 1-2 under par.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's really nothing fun about watching PGA Tour players look like me. Just spraying balls all over the world. It could have gone poorly. It didn't. And I thought Sunday was incredibly interesting. Even though the ending was never really in doubt. By the time we got to the 8th hole, I really didn't have any doubt of how this was going to end.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to see Phil. I wanted to see if Brooks could rally to make it competitive. You had Victor Hovland that I love that kid. He's going to win multiple majors. Sahith Theegala that I mentioned earlier. Golf's in really good shape. You may not love it, and I understand if you don't. It has become, to me, it is the second most consumable sport to football. Major League Baseball, I'd rather watch paint dry. And I mean that to the high. But we got a pitch clock now. I could care less. That is just another thing for you to screw up. I'm just at the NBA. Yeah, you got, which takes me to my loser. The NBA. The last day of as a matter of fact, I'm going to go back 3 days. Over the last 3 days of your season, you had a team that was still in playoff contention. Just shut it down. Do you know why Luka Doncic played?
Why?
Do you know where he's from?
Lithuania? Is that right? The Lithuania?
I want to say Slovenia.
Slovenia.
I knew that didn't sound right, but I couldn't. So it was Slovenian night in Dallas.
Okay.
That's the only reason he played. So he came out for the first quarter and then just glued himself to the bench. If that wasn't bad enough, in an era where really your biggest problem is your game is completely unconsumable at times. So you go out and get absolutely just annihilated by a San Antonio Spurs team that is not even competitive. Did you happen to hear what happened after the game? Greg Popovich went on a 9-minute political tirade about gun control.
Oh, my.
It's totally fine. You can use your platform.
Mm-hmm.
To do it right after the game, it was uncomfortable. And some of the things he said, you need to learn some tact of how you say things. You're entitled to your opinion. But the way that came off, it was painful for me to watch.
Well, Pop's never been one to mince words.
And I got that. That's fine. That's a weird choice of time to do that. And then you get to Sunday.
Well, he knew that was the last chance he was going to get.
Well, they had another game.
Oh.
They had another game in the season. And then you have an end of the season press conference. This was literally 5 minutes after the game was over. I don't know that I've ever seen a media pool more looking around going, do we stop him or do we just let him go? Anyway.
You don't ever stop Pop, by the way.
I would have probably just walked away, but that's me. Then on Sunday, you had 2 fights with teammates and a third that punched a wall and broke his hand and is now out for the playoffs. There is no sport. I'm lumping your Major League Baseball into this. That is in worse hands right now than the NBA. I've never seen anything like it. It is putrid to watch. I thought Adam Silver was one of the smartest people in the world. In 5 years, he has completely killed this game. And every idea he has is dumber than the last. This play-in tournament is eye broccoli. Well, the urgency of, it's sudden death. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you're the 10th best team in the league and you lose to the 9th best team in your conference, okay, then that's sudden death. The winner has to go play another game. Loser of the other one, well, we get another crack at it. It's the most millennial participation trophy thing I've ever seen in my life. Now you're adding a tournament in season that means absolutely nothing. You know that old saying, more is not always more? Sometimes less is more? The NBA can't figure that out.
No.
They cannot figure it out.
No, because they want to get it's obviously always about the money. It's about the ad dollars. It's about what we can generate on the TV views and the
which is
streaming
nothing.
views and all of that. And they're still selling ads, though, and that's the problem. Sooner or later, advertisers are going to figure out it's not worth it to spend money with the NBA.
No, it is literally.
It's terrible.
As 2 people that do this for a living, I can't. It has gotten difficult for me to even feign interest. Now I'll wager it because it'll make me money because it's so predictable.
And this is a guy who just became a Denver Nuggets fan in the last 4 years, and they're the best team in the NBA.
And they're practically the only team I can watch. That's one of the reasons I like them so much.
See, my question is, and now you can go down the path of, the political statements that the NBA has made or standing out, stepping out of the way and letting the players be more political and all that. I get blaming Adam Silver for that.
Of all the things to blame him for, and I don't care what your political allegiances are. I could frankly care less. That's not even in the top 10 of things he has done that has made this unwatchable. I get that there's some people that cling to that.
And
you're entitled to your opinion.
And see, that's where I wanted to go with. Like I don't want to talk about that stuff, obviously. It is a reason why people have stopped watching. People have migrated away from the game. The play-in tournament hasn't affected. I don't know that the playoff tournament has affected the product itself.
100% it has.
On the floor.
100% it has.
Has it?
No doubt it has. No doubt it has. 10 teams missed the playoffs. There are 10 teams in the NBA that could be contracted right now, and nobody would care. Nobody. So basically, every team with a pulse makes the playoffs. Yeah, that affects the regular season. That's why you see it. All right, you got right now, and I do not have the updated odds. 2 of your, it was top 5 as of 2 or 3 days ago. 2 of your top 5 most likely teams to win the title are either in the play-in tournament or just missed it. Because they've sat players for months at a time. Just get me in, that's all that matters. I would argue every seed from 4 down is more likely to wind up in the NBA Finals than your top 3. Because what those 3 did was just play their guys. That's how they wound up here. Sacramento is god-awful defensively. Just play your guys. Play your guys. You're going to get a G League team once a week. I love I should not say that way. I loved the NBA. I grew up loving the NBA. And if somebody does not impede Adam Silver, he is going to completely destroy this game. Because it is the worst television product in all major sports right now, and it is not close.
Yep. I want to go back to the golf course for my next stock up, stock down from the weekend, and I want to preface this by saying it's of no real fault of his own, at least recently. But I feel like there's a stock down from the weekend as Tiger. He did not look good out on the course. And I guess you can look at it from the sense of he wanted to go out one last time and do it. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. The weekend did not go his way.
He made the cut.
He made the cut.
He needed a small miracle to do it.
Right.
But.
He made the cut, but the weather was so bad that he was just physically unable to continue.
He's not competitive anymore.
No, he had to withdraw from the tournament, and I even mentioned to you on Friday that I would not be shocked if he had to withdraw from this tournament, just because of the pain he looked like he was in the first round of the tournament. And then it got worse on Friday, and then obviously the weather changed, and he just couldn't make the body work anymore. And I feel like, okay, so there was the one major, right? There was the Masters from, what was that, 4 years ago? 5 years ago that he won?
2018, yeah.
So 5 years ago, he wins the Masters.
That was the swan song.
That was the swan song.
That was the swan song.
And I guess we all should have saw it coming, but we all want to believe that the heroes can still pull out miracles.
And I can't say that's a stock down. The fact that he made the cut's a small miracle. This guy that almost lost his leg 3 years ago.
Right,
so,
but again, it wasn't really his doing. Like, he fell into the cut. It was everybody else playing in the weather that, they put up worse scores than he
played in the same weather.
It was a backdoor cover.
It was a backdoor cover solely because Justin Thomas had to bogey the last two holes, but he was still on the cut line.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that can barely walk. Mm-hmm. So for me, I can't go that route. I mean, I hate to see it, but at the end of the day, he's 47 going on 77.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was talking about Fred Couples and good on him. Fantastic. You set the record for the oldest competitor ever to make the cut. I would argue in terms of sheer health, he's in better shape than Tiger Woods, and it's not close.
Probably so.
The fact that he even made the cut was a small miracle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just definitively.
I don't know. I just feel like
the comeback's not coming.
Right. And I feel like this is just it's an unfortunate ending to the career.
It's happened with a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Daily Draft will continue next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays, 240 westbound near exit 8, 240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue due to an accident. 26 westbound stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, pockets of slow traffic volume between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. In Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway southbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound. Near Long Shoals Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue north and southbound near Edgewood Road, delays. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles.
Rogue
we're
Combat
with you
Club,
every
Asheville's
step of
home
the
for
way.
comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week. Check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
The #1 health podcast in the world, thanks to each and every one of you that come back every week to listen, learn, and grow.
Sharing his conversations with the biggest stars in the world.
There is no perfect person that you find. It's who you make it work with.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and you can see us everywhere on YouTube. Just go to sportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. We're in the midst of the daily draft. It's stock up, stock down from the weekend. I got Jon Rahm as a stock up. I had Tiger Woods as stock down. Again, not any of his fault. It's just, it's sad circumstances at the end of his career here. And I won't be shocked to hear the official word come out that that's his final Masters.
Well, he basically said that going in.
Right.
That his days are numbered at Augusta.
Jeremy went stock up for the PGA. It was a great ending to a weather-battered weekend down at Augusta. Stock down for the NBA, who just can't get out of their own way.
Ugh.
With an unwatchable product, and now you got guys fighting on the last day of the season. It's just not good. And now it's time for my next stock up for the weekend, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again because now we're a week and a half into the season, and Major League Baseball is way more consumable now with the pitch clock. The game times on average have been cut down by 31 minutes. We're getting more action because of the pitch clocks, because of the shift rule, which I panned to begin with, but it seems to be working, and the changes that they've made on the base paths now are giving us more of the athletic plays, more stolen bases, less of the, wasting an hour of the game time throwing over to first base. Watching a game is just completely different now, as it has been compared to recent years. They're on pace for the lowest average game time since 1984. That's almost as old as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's doing phenomenal things for the game. Batting averages are up 16 points. Stolen bases are already up 30% for the year, and the game times are down 31 minutes. Baseball fans, I think we all can revel in the fact that Major League Baseball has gotten this right for once.
They have gotten it right for you, the loyal consumer. What has it done to your television ratings? Just take a stab at it.
I haven't seen any.
What would you think it has done to it?
Probably nothing.
4%. That's
what
you got.
4%?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. There's an increase.
And that's...
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a regional niche sport. I mean, I could make the argument every sport is outside of one.
Outside of the NFL, sure.
Outside of one. Now, there are certain things that we congregate for, whether it's the NCAA tournament, whether it's the Masters. It's a niche. And I'm glad for you that it's making it more consumable for you. I haven't watched one pitch of it, and that should surprise absolutely no one. I am very happy you just did that.
Okay.
Because my name is Adesanya. Yeah. If you didn't see it over the weekend, he knocks out, and I can't, you'd have to tell me, I never thought I'd be deferring to you because I didn't watch the fight.
Alex Pereira.
For whatever reason,
Who
every
he
time
had never beaten.
He had lost him, 3 times?
Yeah, he had lost to him twice in kickboxing, and then he lost the title to him, 6 months ago?
Yep. So every time I saw Pereira, I'm in golf mode, so I kept thinking Mito Pereira, and I could not get Alex out of my mouth. So if you didn't know the story, when he knocked him out in kickboxing, his young child came into the ring and did the fallout, knocked out next to Israel Adesanya. Well, as his child was crying in the front row after he knocked out his dad, he pointed at him and did the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you that everybody's going to love that, but for me, you just became my new favorite forever.
He was jazzed up about this win, unlike
As well,
any
he should
other
be.
win in his illustrious career. Because there was all the talk that he couldn't beat Alex Pereira.
And
he did. And he did it in such brutal fashion. I mean, Pereira had, he was in the fight. He was competitive.
He was winning the fight.
Okay. I'm not the judge, so I don't know. All I'm saying is it was a good fight up until it wasn't. And then all of a sudden, Izzy just caught him with some punches. I mean, he hit him twice with the right and then got the left, and he was just lights out. Absolutely lights out. And the fact that he trolled the kid, I mean, there's a part of me that goes, come on. The kid's scared for his daddy. Like, that's not cool. And then on the other side of it.
You know that kid's 13 years old, right?
I don't care.
Okay. Here's the thing. If you can't take it, don't dish it. And I get that you were 6.
It's completely fair.
I get that you were 6 when you did this. I'm well aware of that. Your dad should totally have been, no.
Do that.
We don't do that.
Right.
I got to go another stock up. It's Sam Bennett. I mean, I could argue he was the talk of the tournament. That's the amateur from Texas A&M that. Oh, by the way, Stephen Tessie's 15. Yeah, at 15. At 15, you've earned every bit of this.
All right, maybe so.
Yeah, listen here, Mr. Millennial. He just at 15, you get what you get.
It's a little bad taste, right?
No, not for me, but a little. Sam Bennett was low amateur at Augusta. Great story. Was competitive the whole time. Had many opportunities to fold up shop. Didn't do it. I just hate it didn't finish in the top 12. That would have guaranteed he could come back
next year. Yeah.
But I have a funny feeling you're going to be seeing a lot more of him anyway. He went to the Aggie Invitational. Yeah, he dropped out. That thing they kept talking about of, he's got to carry his own bag. He dropped out.
So what, he's going pro now? Is that?
Oh, I feel very sure of that.
I mean, after you finish in the top 20 at the Masters, why not? So what's the process there? He's got to go to, like, Q school now? Or?
Oh, yeah. He'll have to go through the Corn Ferry Tour or whatever the case may be. But I think you'll see him in time. Handled himself really, really well. It was a very impressive display.
All right. This was the first time in a long time that I did not make the weekend trek up to Bristol Motor Speedway, but I got to go stock up for NASCAR. Once again, they got it right. I was a big detractor of the dirt race, but it just adds a little something spicy to the to the NASCAR season. NASCAR, their ratings aren't great. Ratings are falling. I can't really tell you why, because I feel like it has more appeal with specialty events like this one. But
I would agree
it's
with
just not hitting. It's just not hitting home with the mass audience, and I think that's unfortunate.
Sport.
Absolutely, it's a niche sport. It mainly only works in the South. I get it. Dirt track racing, though, is I mean that's a throwback for all of us that were raised in Western North Carolina and more rural parts of the South, where dirt tracks were a part of life. Kind of harkens back to the original days of stock car racing, and I feel like they have gotten it right year after year. That race just keeps getting better and better and better. Final stock up, stock down for the weekend. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I think I've done this before since the season started, but I'm going stock down for all football, not the NFL. Do you even know the XFL's playing right now?
Not a clue, because I don't care.
Had it not been for the relentless promos that I saw over the weekend, I wouldn't even known or would I care that the USFL's coming back next week. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. I don't care what you do.
Nope. Don't know. Don't care.
Minor league football is not a thing.
No. So that takes me to my last selection, correct?
Yes.
Mine is a vehement stock down, and I do this every year. It's for Chris Sims. Did you happen to see he put out his top 5 edge rushers in this class?
No. Please do impart.
Tyree Wilson was one, which is, it's fine. I don't agree with you, but it's fine. Lucas Van Ness, Nolan Smith, Will McDonald IV. Hear a name missing there?
Where's Will Anderson?
He's 5. He's in tier 3. He barely made the list. There's no way you actually believe that.
No.
None. Look, and Chris Sims hits a lot on quarterbacks. There is no doubt in my mind he says things just to get people to talk about it, and I fall for it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I cannot get over the fact that you would say something that just unbelievably stupid. If that's what you're seeing, and look, I like all 4 guys he's got ahead of Will Anderson. If you're watching them and have him at 5, you're not very good at this. Period.
Clickbait journalism.
And I hate it.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back for the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Beautiful sunshine in the forecast all week long, and we warm things up after a cold Easter holiday weekend. Things really warming up this week. By Wednesday, we're talking mid-70s, and it is a beautiful stretch of mid-April weather here in Asheville. 33 our low in the valley tonight, some below freezing numbers with elevation tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 68, low 37, mid-70s Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lahr, and what's the latest Weather Channel forecast?
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue due to an accident. 240 west 10 eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic is stop and go. 240 eastbound stop and go between Tunnel Road and exit 8. 26 eastbound stop and go between the French Broad River and Long Shoals Road. 26 westbound approaching Long Shoals Road. Traffic is slowing. 40 westbound slow between NC 215 and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling between exit 27 and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Before you burn, take a look at the weather and avoid burning on dry, windy days. Never leave your fire unattended. You are the best defense against wildfires. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
Everybody is buzzing about